Hello everyone, welcome back to another lecture on writings on contemporary issues. In the last two classes, we were discussing the essay titled The Globalization of Inequality. We discussed what is globalization and some of the disadvantages caused by globalization in all over the world. I know most of you are not watching the video lectures regularly, but as a teacher, I'm obliged to fulfill my duty. That's why I'm recording and uploading the classes for the sake of everyone. Many of you have been facing lot of technical issues like poor connectivity, power failure, etc. That's why I'm not going for a live sessions. For the sake of you, I'm uploading video lectures that can be available at any time in your Google Classroom. And if you want to watch it again, you can do that. So I hope you will make use of these video lectures very soon. I'm not going to make you bored by my advisors. So let me move on to the chapter titled The Globalization of Inequality. Let's continue our discussion and let me share my PDF with you. Okay, the globalization of inequality. Hope you remember what we discussed in the last class. We discussed the inequality, the division between the rich and poor people in the world is increasing. See, till here by 2003, the position had worsened till this paragraph we discussed in the last session. Let's continue. What is being termed an economic recovery in the USA, as Professor Paul Krugman of Princeton points out, is a period in which the same economy has lost 3 million jobs. So, next term that we have to discuss today is economic recovery. What is meant by economic recovery? A professor named Paul Krugman from USA, he said that when a lot of people are increasing their wealth, 3 million people are losing their jobs. They are getting unemployed. When the salary of the chief executive officers, that is CEO, is highest ever, at the same time the number of Americans living in poverty rose sharply to 12.4% to the population, and among the minority blacks and Hispanics, the percentage is almost double. Here, Pesina, he is giving an example of the inequality that is arising in USA. We can see now onward we are going to discuss how the globalization is affecting the society in some of the few nations across the world. First of all, he's talking on USA. When the salary of CEO means it's an executive job, it's one of the supreme position in a company. The salary of the CEOs are increasing, getting doubled. But at the same time, you can see that lot of millions of people are unemployed. They are jobless and they don't have any earnings at all. The number of Americans living in poverty. Can you imagine the existence of poverty in a nation like USA, one of the developed nation? But that is the fact. We are unaware of this population, this population who are under poverty and other issues, other sufferings. The minority blacks and Hispanics. Hispanics means once there was Spanish colonization in America, and later the colonies were destroyed and they went back. But now itself, a few Spanish people are living in America. So the minority blacks means the black Americans, the Africans who have settled in America, their situation is also worse in such a nation like USA. This is the reality. And when it comes to Russia, the second superpower, America is the first superpower in the world. Russia is the second superpower. And once Russia was subjected to shock therapy, what is shock therapy? The definition of shock therapy is given in page number 85 in your textbook. The shock therapy means the sudden release of price and currency control. Sometimes there will be an inflation. The value of money will be decreased. The assets, the privatization of nation. These are known as shock therapy. അല്ലേ ഗവൺമെന്റ് കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം പ്രൈവറ്റ് മേഖലയിലേക്ക് കൊടുക്കുന്നു. അതുപോലെ കാശിന് മൂല്യമില്ലാതാവുന്നു അല്ലേ. നമുക്കറിയാം പലപ്പോഴും ഇപ്പോൾ എന്താ പറയുന്നത്, ഇപ്പോൾ കൊറോണ വന്ന സമയത്ത് പലപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്ത് ഒരുപാട് സ്ഥല കച്ചവടക്കാർക്കൊക്കെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ വന്നു. കാരണം സ്ഥലത്തിനും ലാൻഡിനൊന്നും വാല്യൂ ഇല്ല, പൈസയ്ക്ക് ഒരു വാല്യൂ ഇല്ലാത്തൊരവസ്ഥയായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ ഇനിയിപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഇതൊക്കെ വാക്സിനൊക്കെ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴേക്കും ആ ഫീൽഡ് എന്താ അത് ഇനിയിപ്പോൾ ഫ്ലറിഷ് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഷോക്ക് തെറാപ്പി ആ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിലേക്ക് വന്നു. അതായത് സബ്സിഡീസ് ഇല്ലാതായിരുന്നു, സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഗവൺമെൻറ് ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് നൽകിയിരുന്ന സബ്സിഡീസ് എല്ലാം തിരിച്ചെടുക്കുന്നു. പിന്നെ അതുപോലെ പ്രൈസ് കൺട്രോൾ ഒക്കെ വരുന്നു അല്ലേ, കറൻസിയുടെ വാല്യൂ കുറയുന്നു, ലാർജ് സ്കെയിൽ പ്രൈവറ്റൈസേഷൻ എല്ലാം പ്രൈവറ്റ് ഇതിലേക്ക് കൊടുക്കുകയാണ്. പബ്ലിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പല കാര്യങ്ങളും, ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഓൺഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പല കാര്യങ്ങളും പ്രൈവറ്റിലേക്ക് കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ്, ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് ആ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഗവൺമെൻറ് വളരെ കുറഞ്ഞ നിരക്കിൽ കൊടുത്തിരുന്ന പല ഫെസിലിറ്റീസും ജനങ്ങൾക്ക്, സാധാരണ ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താണ് പ്രൈവറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് എന്താണ് കൂടുതൽ പൈസ ചിലവാക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ 100 രൂപയ്ക്ക് ഗവൺമെൻറ് കൊടുത്തിരുന്ന ഒരു സാധനം ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് പ്രൈവറ്റുകാർ ഏറ്റെടുക്കുമ്പോൾ 500 രൂപയ്ക്കായിരിക്കും അത് എടുക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ സാധാരണക്കാരന് അത് വല്ലാതെ ബാധിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ എവിടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു? 1990s റഷ്യയിലും സംഭവിച്ചിരുന്നു. ദി ഗ്രോസ് ഡൊമസ്റ്റിക് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് GDP അത് 42% ഇൻക്രീസ് ആയി. See, this is what happened in a country like Russia. And no country has ever done that without a famine or a war. Usually this kind of shock therapy arises in a nation when there was a great famine or a war. ഒരു യുദ്ധമോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഡ്രൗട്ടോ വരൾച്ചയോ ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടാകുമ്പോഴാണ് ഇത്തരം ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ, ഒരു ഷോക്ക് തെറാപ്പി പോലുള്ള സിറ്റുവേഷനിലേക്ക് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിന് എത്തേണ്ടി വരുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു പെട്ടെന്ന് അപ്രതീക്ഷിതമായ ഒരു യുദ്ധം വരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിന് അതെന്താണ് അഫോർഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, ജനങ്ങളെ സേവിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. കാരണം ഉള്ള പണം മൊത്തം എന്താണ് വാറിന് ഉപയോഗിക്കേണ്ടി വരും. ഒരു ഫെമൈനോ ഡ്രൗട്ടോ വരുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഒരു നാച്ചുറൽ കലാമിറ്റിയാണ് അല്ലെ, ഒരു നാച്ചുറൽ കലാമിറ്റി വരുമ്പോൾ അതിനെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുമ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ജനങ്ങളുടെ ഡെയിലി നീഡ്സിനെ മീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിന് പറ്റാതെ വരികയും അപ്പോഴാണ് പ്രൈവറ്റൈസേഷനിലേക്ക് നീങ്ങുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെയും സംഭവിച്ചെന്താണ്, അങ്ങനെ ഒന്നുമില്ല, ഫെമൈനോ വോറോ ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാവാതിരുന്നിട്ട് പോലും റഷ്യയിൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു, ഈ ഒരു ഷോക്ക് തെറാപ്പി പോലൊരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിലേക്ക് എത്തിച്ചേർന്നു. കാരണം എന്താണ്, എല്ലായിടത്തും ഗ്ലോബലൈസേഷൻ വന്നപ്പോഴേക്കും എല്ലായിടത്തും എന്താണ് ആ പവർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മണി അത് വെസ്റ്റഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഒരു 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 മൈനോറിറ്റിയാണ്. ഒരു സൂപ്പർ പവേഴ്സിൻ്റെ കയ്യിലെല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്, സാധാരണക്കാരന് ഒന്നുമില്ല. In 1990s the poverty in Russia skyrocketed and rise in mortality were there. ഒരുപാട് ആളുകൾ മരിച്ചു, പോവർട്ടി കൂടി. അപ്പം ഇതെന്താണ്, ഉള്ളവൻ ഇല്ലാത്തവന് ഉള്ളത് കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എല്ലാവർക്കും എന്താണ് സഫീഷ്യൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് എല്ലാം ലഭിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എന്താണ് ഒരു നല്ലൊരു ഹാർമോണിയസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ലൈഫ് ലീഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ബട്ട് ദിസ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഹാപ്പനിങ് ഇൻ മെനി ഓഫ് ദി കൺട്രീസ്. നോട്ട് എനിവെയർ വി ക്യാൻ സീ ദാറ്റ്. ഉള്ളവരുണ്ട്, ഇല്ലാത്തവരൊന്നുമില്ല. ദിസ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ്. So this is one of the incident occurred in Russia. And another thing happened there is in each winter, hundreds die of the cold. We know that in European countries there was extreme winter. It's very difficult for us to withstand in winter. We need proper clothing, we need proper food, we need proper shelter. But the poor people, they can't afford any of this. So hundreds of die in the winter season in Moscow. In 2000 and 2001, that period, over 300 people died in Moscow alone of hypothermia. What is hypothermia? Hypothermia means a body loses heat faster than it can produce heat. We know that there is a heat in our body. അല്ല, നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിൽ എപ്പോഴും ഒരു ചൂടുണ്ട്. നല്ല തണുപ്പ് കാലത്താണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിൽ ഒരു ബോഡി ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ഈ നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിലെ നമ്മുടെ സ്വയം ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആ ഒരു ബോഡി ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ പെട്ടെന്ന് നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിൽ നിന്ന് പോകുന്നു. പെട്ടെന്ന് നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ചൂട് നഷ്ടപ്പെടുകയാണ് ആ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ വിൻ്റർ കൂടുമ്പോൾ എന്താണ് നമുക്കതിനെ സഹിക്കാൻ പറ്റാതെ വരികയും ഒരുപാട് ആളുകൾ മരിക്കുന്നു. കാരണം അവർക്ക് ആ ശരീരം ചൂടാക്കാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഫുഡ് കഴിക്കാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ തീ കൂട്ടിയിട്ടും തീ കായാനോ ഒന്നുമുള്ള സൗകര്യമില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് 300ഓളം ആളുകൾ ആ സമയത്ത് ആ കാലയളവിൽ മോസ്കോയിലും മരിച്ചത്. But at the same time, in the same period, the sale of Mercedes-Benz cars in Moscow leaped by 1/3. Mercedes-Benz, it's one of the luxurious cars in the world. But at the same time, in the same place, the sales of Mercedes-Benz has tripled because the rich people, they are spending their money. They are luxuriously spending their money they have. They are buying new cars. They are buying new luxurious items. They don't know how to spend their money. But at the same time, the same place, the people are suffering because they do not have enough money to meet their daily needs. This is happening because of globalization, the inequality created by the globalization. And let's come to China, the most populated nation in the world. China is one of the egalitarian society. Egalitarian means believing in equality. We know that they believe that they do believe in communism. So in China, even though they believe in equality, but now if we observe, we can see that the number of millionaires in China is also increasing. The gap between the rich and poor is evident. Even in China, even in a nation like China who believe in equality, the inequality is rising and it is widening. The gap between rich and poor is increasing. The coastal and interior China has grown worse. Coastal means in coastal area, the people, they are engaging themselves in trade and economy. So they do engage in trade and they are earning lot of money. They are financially stable. But the people in interior regions of China, they do not have proper earnings. So the gap between the people who are living in coastal areas and interior China has been getting increasing. And some same effect can be seen in different fields in China. And two giant and rapidly growing sectors catching eye. So here he's going to give two examples. One is China's on people's procurate is corruption. One of the reasons for China's this pathetic situation is the corruption in the government sector, in the management sector. And another one is prostitution. The corruption and prostitution, the two leading problems which we can see in China nowadays. Nowadays, in the sense, in 2004 that he is talking, that when he is writing this essay. Why prostitution is increasing? Because when the industries are developed, when these industries uh, were, were trying to catch the attention of the tourists, there arises some industries like erotic massages known as happy endings. So the women, they do not have proper earnings. They forced to go for prostitution. They do need an earning. Where will they go? Finally, they will force to sell their bodies. So the prostitution and corruption is increasing. Once the corruption is solved, it will be beneficial for all the people in the all class of people in the society. But the corruption is increasing and the people in the lower strata of society is suffering. So that is why the women who belongs to the lower strata of society, they do have to opt prostitution as their job, as a career. And next, let's see what's happening in India. In 20th October 2004, the New York Times, one of the leading dailies in India, had a front page lead celebrating the birth of a class of people in India who spend their weekends at malls. There are a lot of rich people in our nation. They are luxuriously spending their time during weekends. Once there was an article in New York Times. The topic of the article is how the rich people or the high class people are spending their weekends at malls. We know that in malls the prices are too high. If a tea costs only 10 rupees in a normal hotel, and if you go to a restaurant in one of the malls anywhere in India, probably it costs 200 or 250 rupees. That is a difference. That's a huge difference. If we have 250 rupees, we can fill the bellies of two people having a good meal, ordinary meal. Their belly will be full, but in mall, the rich people are spending that 250 rupees for a single tea. This is the difference. See, and in 2004, in the Human Development Ranking, India stood only in the 127th position because the human development in India is poor. This year's UN Human Development Report had found that the bulk of the Indian population living standards are lower than that of Botswana or even the territories of Palestine. The Human Development Report, they have studied the standard of living of Indian people, Indian population, and they arrived at a conclusion. The standard of living of the majority of people in India is lower than that of the people of Botswana and Palestine. Botswana is a South African nation. We are clearly well known about how the situation of people in South Africa, how the situation of the immigrants of Palestine. The situation is pathetic. Compared to these people, our standard of living is much lower than theirs. Can you imagine that? You might be thinking that no, our standard of living is much better. I'm leading a better life. Not only us, not only I, there are a lot of other people in India. In Kerala, the standard of living is much better because of lot of reasons, but that is not exactly what is happening in North India or in some rural areas in India. So this report shows this is the reality. Please open your eyes. This is what Sainath is telling to us. Then euphoria over one good monsoon. In this paragraph, he is talking about the Indian agriculture. Once India is known as a nation devoted for agriculture, but now the especially the small farms are dying. Most of the people in earlier times, most of the Indian people, they engage themselves in farming and other related activities, and we do have uh, proper goods, food items, etc. But now the small farms, they are dying because people were hesitant to invest in agriculture because it's not profitable, and many people have to commit suicide because they don't have proper support from the authorities, the government, as well as from other people in the society. So here in March, a professor of Utsa Patnaik points out the per person availability of food grain was lower than it had been during the notorious Bengal famine of 1942 and 43. In 1942 and 43, there was a Bengal famine. At that time, food grains were not available. It's not sufficient for all the people. But currently, the present situation is more worse than that of 1942 and 43, because there is no proper support for farmers, there is no proper schemes for farmers, and moreover the people, they all are after white collar jobs. Is anyone from this class who would like to, who prefer to choose your career in agriculture? Some do. It's not a bad thing. Many successful farmers are in our society nowadays. They are earning well, but they do have a mentality for that. Anyway, this is the reality. The agriculture, and the one more other reason why people are hesitant to engage themselves in agriculture, because of the changing weather, the untimely rain, and all the lack of availability of water. These are some of the hurdles the farmers are facing, and they couldn't earn a proper benefit out of it. Sometimes they have to face loss. So this is why they are not opting their career in the field of agriculture. See, thousands of farmers have been committing since 1990s, especially in Andhra Pradesh. Here is an example. 2,400 farmers have taken their own lives from 1997. This is the statistics. And many people are losing their jobs. The unemployed people, uh, when they do not have to do anything, when they are lazy and when they are sitting leisurely, there arises religious fundamentalism. If a person have a job, what will happen? He will go for the job and he will be engaged. He do not have much time to engage in some other activities, but that is not the case of unemployed people. The unemployed people, they will be influenced by some organizations, and they will create some sort of influence on in the name of their religion, the name of their nation, etc. And that is how the riots have been taking place in many places in our country, especially in 2002 there was a riot occurred in Gujarat, and 1,500 people they lost their life because the shutting down of industries leads to the appraisal of jobless people in Gujarat at that time. So there, some sort of people they utilize that situation. Like ചുമ്മാ ഇരിക്കുകയാണ് മതത്തിൻ്റെയും ഒക്കെ പേര് പറഞ്ഞ് അവരെ ബ്രെയിൻ വാഷ് ചെയ്ത് അവരെ ഒരു റയറ്റിലേക്ക് എത്തിപ്പെട്ടു. പക്ഷെ അവരൊരിക്കലും ഇൻഫ്ലുവൻസ്ഡ് ആവില്ലായിരുന്നു. അവർക്ക് ഈ പറഞ്ഞ കൂട്ടുള്ള ജോലിയും ഏർണിങ്സും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നുവെങ്കിൽ. The huge new inequalities are feeding into existing ones. For instance, in a society where they are already disadvantaged, hunger hits women much harder. Then he is comparing the situation of men and women. Though we are raising our voice for equality, physically or biologically, women are much weaker because that is how the God has created. And when they are giving birth to their child, they are losing half of their life. So that is why nowadays we can see a lot of schemes for supporting and for empowering women and children. There was a tradition in most of the houses in India. After preparing food, the food will be provided to the men in the house, and after the food will be provided to the children, and women will eat only at last. At last, if they will eat if there is something to eat. Sometimes they do not have anything to have at all. But now the situation is not the same. In Kerala, it is not the same. In my home, we all are sitting together and we are having food together. So if we have if some sort of dish, if a dish is not sufficient, we will distribute among everyone equally. Okay, but if my father had food first and later we had food, children had food, and my mother are waiting for her turn, probably she will not get what she wished for. But this practice is still going on in some places in India. So the lack of food will leads to or will leads to the deterioration of the women health. See, with smaller amount of food being left over now, poor Indian women are eating even less than they did earlier. The strain on their bodies and health become greater, yet healthcare is ever more expensive. We have heard a proverb, health is wealth. So the lack of food will lead to poor health. And once we lose that health, we have to rush to the hospital for proper treatment. Remember, the treatment is too expensive nowadays. Isn't it? Can you imagine how it will be? Okay, let's talk about all that details later. With this, I'm concluding today's lecture and we will see on next Tuesday. Thank you.